Hey guys, what is up? Today we are at Portello Motorsports and we're here to see an update of my RB26 engine. So let's go inside and meet Pieter. Yo, Pieter, customer in the house. Doesn't look like it's closed. Looks like Pieter is in here. So guys, this is Pieter from Portello.
Hello. It's good that you're late. I just dropped all of your rods.
Oh,
Hard.
that's good news. So as you can hear, he's really a professional. That's why I chose him.
I know nothing about engines.
So yeah, I'm a good project then.
Well, yeah, it's a good learning school. First time ever building an RB. Don't know what I'm doing.
This is exactly what we need. So this is obviously my RB26 block. What are you doing at this moment, Pieter?
I'm putting in the rings lad.
Yeah.
And I'm going to see what the end gap is, or what do you call it, slot play or whatever. Measure that and then file them for correct measure so that they are the right size, because if they're too tight they would cause it to seize under high temperatures. So
okay,
that's something we don't want.
Yes, definitely don't want. So Pieter, tell us really, how many RBs have you built so far?
I haven't got a clue, to be honest.
Not even a small guess?
Don't know. I built more SRs behind you. I reckon we're over 50 of them, because SRs don't like oil pressure and then they die.
Yep.
RBs I don't really know, we don't build them that often because in Belgium it's a quite small community. And when an RB explodes, most of them just stuff in another one. We tend to try and source a Neo or another 26 to put in them. So I've built quite a few, I reckon around 10 of them that we've built here. In the early days, when we didn't know a lot about them, especially with the oil problems, we had a few that went bang.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, sometimes by guys that did the tunes that it went wrong. Other times because they didn't have the specs that they said they have. Like for instance, we had an engine in and they said it was a fully forged block. We took it to our tuner in the UK, mapped it to 550 horsepower, and then after 2 weeks the bottom end shot itself.
Nice.
We opened it up and then it appeared to be a stock block.
Aye, okay.
Which can't handle that kind of stress, apparently.
Well.
Plus nowadays we've got a lot of info on the internet about the oil feeds and the oil return problems, and you can buy all nice kits which wasn't there before, or not readily available, and now we've got a lot of info on the web, which is fortunate.
Yep, which is a big help.
Yeah. So basically we don't have a clue what we're doing.
Nope.
We're just trying, so please in the what do you call it? In the I wouldn't call it the help section. In the comments, please tell us how to do this, because
yeah. So if you see any mistakes of what we're doing, maybe we're putting the rings upside down or anything,
yeah,
let us know, please.
Is it this way in, or I think it's like that?
Yeah, that looks actually perfect. Yeah, just leave it like that.
No, I won't. It would scratch the bore though.
Yeah. Something else we don't want.
Yeah.
So please let us know if you do anything wrong before we end this build.
Yeah, that'll be a problem, because if we put the pistons in and someone replies in about 2 months, we've got a massive problem on our hands. Then we'll just basically strip the engine again.
Will it be a problem if it actually by 2 months we still didn't figure it out by ourselves?
Well, or the engine would have seized by then. I reckon we'll know.
So as you can see, we definitely have a lot of fun while building this nicely.
You are, I'm not.
No, me more than you. I get the easy job.
Documenting all the mistakes.
Yeah. And all those mistakes that are made, not my fault. So, pistons, we chose CP pistons. Rods, we have Manley rods.
Skedaddles, skedoodles. Your rods are now noodles. Let's just calculate how much it needs to be, because all of this shit is from the top of my head it's 0.45, but let's double check it. Times, so the bore is 86.5 times 0.0055 the turbo. Yeah, so it's 0.47. So 45 goes in well. Shouldn't go. Oh, hang on. The second ring never needs, or like, if you got a good machine shop that does it, and your bore size, which I just measured with my bore size equipment measuring thing. Don't know how it's pronounced in English. If you've got a good machine shop and they machine it to the exact specs and hone it to the exact 86.5 that you want, you rarely need to adjust anything on the second rings, which are ideal now. What you always need to grind off is the first one, so these can come out.
So, luckily for me, Pieter knows a lot about RBs. Not just RBs, but actually anything that has something to do with Japanese engines. He's a professional that I would definitely recommend if you are in Belgium or close to Belgium.
Professional idiot.
Professional idiot. So he will gladly help you with anything.
To lose all of your money.
To spend your money in the right way.
Yeah.
To like invest in your beautiful old car.
Piece of...
Dude. Yep. Pieter, do you mind that I show them a bit the shop?
Yeah, you can show them how my financial mistake looks like.
So let's have a quick small tour around the shop to give you some idea what Pieter is doing daily.
I make a lot of mess and my girlfriend cleans up after me. So it's pretty clean now. It used to be horrible. So this is the stuff we do. A lot of parts are for other builds that we have going. This is a JZ we finished for a client. Should be pushing about 550 to 600 horsepower. The engine's now sold to Ireland because, as you know, sometimes people run out of money and then projects get sold. So this one is off to Ireland with a V161 gearbox attached to it.
I know
These
the feeling.
all parts from a guy that drives the Peking to Paris. So you heard it right, China to Paris, China to France rally in a car from the early 30s.
Ooh.
So yeah,
that's nice.
he made it this year, but we found that his sump was full of sand, and it's basically because of these filters that were supplied by the guy that made the engine in America for this man. Really well built engine. The only problem was these filters left in all the sand, and the sump was filled with sand. So you can imagine how the what do you call them? The compression rings are looking like. So that wasn't really good.
That's a shame.
This is another part that came back for RB. The refurbed alternators.
It's nice.
Yeah.
Looking brand spanking new. So this R34 here, also from a client, a customer.
Tidy car, really clean shell. Bought it in Ireland about half a year back. Took it through homologations, something that we do on a regular basis. because in Belgium the laws are pretty strict, and
Yep.
to get these roadworthy, you have to do a lot of work to them to get them to pass or strict control. But we got it going.
Gotta love Belgium.
Yeah. Belgium.
If we can give you one tip, if you're not living in Belgium, don't move here.
Yeah. Stay out of Belgium if you
Stay
like
out of
cars.
Belgium. Stay wherever the hell you are now. Next up, we have
The grenade room, we call this.
the grenade room.
Never bring a grenade into this room because it will explode. This is the dyno cell. It's still under construction because it just moved here. It's got a GTR with about the same setup you're going to run.
Yep.
Well, this is actually a slightly stroked engine. It's an RB27, if you would, with a very weird crank that came with it.
Okay.
Again, a fun story. Guy bought the engine from a guy in Holland, completely built, supposedly with high lift cams and stiff valve springs or harder valve springs. Well, guess what wasn't in it when we found that a piston met a valve? There weren't any valve springs in it.
Ooh.
So piston meets valves. End of story.
Aye.
So we rebuilt the engine for him, good this time, and with a single turbo.
That sounds good. And that's exactly what I'm going for as well. I didn't tell you guys yet, but I'm also going to run a single setup, a single turbo setup instead of the twin turbo setup I was first going for. I will go with the same turbo like this one, so Borg Warner S200 SX. Next up, we have
Another built SR, 2 more RBs to build. They're all in the same batch of engines. This is the very much under construction machine shop / welding room. Supposed to be separated, but it's not yet. This is your head.
my head. Nice.
Oh, not your actual head, your cylinder head.
Oh,
This looks a lot better than yours,
yeah, that's true.
especially on video.
I don't know. Is that so? I think my head looks way better than this thing.
Yeah, well, it shines the same way as this now.
Oof, okay, okay.
How do you actually solve that? You go to a bowling shop and stick your head into a machine that polishes it, or how does it work?
How did you know? How did you know?
I don't know.
Yeah, you see, he's really familiar with polishing. I guess that's how he found out how I make, how I do the maintenance of my shiny head.
Anyway,
yeah.
the head has been cleaned because it was very, very, very disgusting, especially the exhaust ports. Then all the valves are cleaned. They all have been cut with a second angle. So something that I learned off BMW M3 engines, because they're really nicely made valve trains. They cut an extra angle, so as soon as you've got lift on the valve, it allows extra or more air to go in.
Okay.
So that's something I do as standard on these engines. Also, something that we've started doing recently is cut off all the burr or excess on the sides and on the valve seats to prevent detonation. If it works or not, we'll soon find out. It's supposed to work because I've seen even guys with RBs that cut off the sides and make this as round so you don't have the edge anymore here. But we've never had detonation because of this, because we always take the burr away, so that wouldn't be a problem. The second corner that we cut on the machine to set the valve seats is something that we've recently been doing because we felt that the edge was a bit sharp. But again, as said, we'd never had any detonation issues or prematurely having it on engines that didn't have this yet. But I've seen guys that cut this away, so they make it round. But I think it just lowers the compression ratio too much, and your engine becomes a bit unresponsive due to the lack of compression. It just doesn't feel the same anymore.
Yeah.
One of the 3 RBs that we're doing now had detonation damage that bad that we're going to have to cut that all of that out, and I think that will just drastically affect the engine's performance, but we'll try and cope with that by skimming the head a bit more, leeching the head out and trying to get back to where we were on squish area, but that's something that we'll have to look when the head's back from the machine shop to get that done.
Okay. We'll
find out. It's also for us the first one to do that. So we sent it off to a specialist company in the UK that DY engine services that are known for building or addressing this in the right manner. So I prefer to send it off and have someone do it that knows their stuff, knows it well.
Yeah. Experience is key.
Yeah, that's it. I'd rather give it to someone that's done it before and then does it well.
Yeah.
And that you know that has done engines in a correct manner, rather than to try it yourself and ruin it or ruin a head. I know it'll come back and be good. That's something I tend to do with a lot of things. If you got someone that has the skill set to pull it off in the right manner, you're better off letting someone else do it than trying to resell them budget and up.
True.
In the end, it'll just bite you in the ass.
Especially with this kind of engines.
Yeah. Builds cost too much to take any risks or any chances. Intake and exhaust wise, we're going to leave them as standard. We'll just cut and polish them a bit to get the rough edges out. But as the intake manifold is going to stay standard and the exhaust manifold is going to be port matched. So there's no major differences in that. So it's a pretty standard build. It's not like we're going to port the head to the maximum.
True.
So moving on, this is just the machine shop. The bench on the left is to cut valve seats. The bench on the right is that's actually another RB engine that we're doing. It hasn't been surfaced yet. This is Stephen's engine. As you can see, it's been surfaced before in Japan. We recut the valve seats as we put new bronze valve guides in. We used Supra for that. So you need to recut them anyway when you put new valve guides in. This is the machine we use. It's a really old one, but a very good one. To surface the heads, as you can see on the finish on yours, it does quite a good job.
It's really clean.
Yeah. Shines like your head. Doing a good job. Another SR head. Another SR head that needs to be done. Not done yet. There's heads everywhere. If you look around, too much job, too little time.
This is really a dream shop. Everything you have here.
This should be here. We still need to build another table on wheels. It's just because we have a lack of space that we put it in here. Client's car, don't want to have it outside. And then the masterpiece.
Oh, Pieter, what do you have there in the back? What's that?
Porsche.
What's that yellow thing?
R32 GTR.
Oh, it's another R32 GTR.
Also for an engine build?
Engine build. People actually buy that in yellow?
No, even worse, they paint it in yellow. So.
They paint it in yellow.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea why you would do that?
Because he likes bananas.
That's a solid reason.
No, I don't know. I quite like it actually. It's got a cage, it's got cool seats. It's got a Tomoe, what do you call it? Titanium Extreme exhaust. It sounds.
That's exactly the exhaust you want.
YouTube rating going on. Yeah, I quite like it. It's pretty old school. It's got all the gauges on the dash. Cool. What is that? OZ Futuras or something on it? I'll probably get a lot of hate for that in the comments.
Well, Too late for that now.
That's my baby and the missus's baby. PS13 in Advent livery and then a drift shader for the missus.
Really beautiful restored Supra.
Yeah, especially the left side.
Yeah, that's really nicely done. Yep.
Well, next to it is another very nice grandma car. The Toyota Corolla KE70 with a 1UZ V8.
So, let's quickly check the upper part of the shop where all the parts are.
All of them.
All of them.
This is what it looks like when you're a hoarder and lose all of your money on shit old Nissan and Toyota parts.
Hey, cheers to that.
Well, and you just buy everything that you see. Oh shit, millions of starter motors, that's nice, I want them, give them all.
Yep, you never know when you might need, what, 10, 11?
Yeah, or like, you know, the prices for RB boxes going crazy. So I thought, oh, let's just stock all of them.
You never know.
I reckon I've got 11 of them all reconditioned, ready to go for God knows what.
Yep, you can actually...
Stars and Beams engines on the shelf. V8s or RBs. Oh, that's something interesting for guys that do R32s. And I recently decided to redo all the bolts that go into a Nissan. So like this is the rear coilovers, this is a hub to carrier, all the, what do you call them, shims, whatever, engine mount bolts, so the back housing of the diff, everything brand new and not too expensive. This is actually S4, no, this is S13 and S14. These are basically old bolts that have been stripped of rust and paint and then been re-zinced, or whatever you call them. All the arm, all the stuff for the...
Look at that.
All the brake, handbrake stuff. Drum catch bolts.
That's actually super cool.
The rings for the gearbox. Kind of took everything that I found and just put it in. And it's so nice to have, like when you're doing a build and you want to build it properly, like diff bolts, anything that you want, you should have. Powder coated subframes, R32 GTR, RS14, S13, got a lot of them. When you crash your car, we got a bit of spares, not everything.
No, that's great. So actually we can build up a new GTR from scratch here.
Well, yeah, from old parts. Yeah,
We just put the R34 bumper on.
yeah. Oh, this is my organized chaos of your engine parts.
Oh, look, my engine parts.
It's just a pile of boxes and I'm very sorry for it. But I organized this and it's an organized chaos and it sucks, but...
The most important thing is you know where it is and how it's ordered.
Yeah.
I don't need to know, you need to know.
Yeah. I've need shit fiberglass. I've got most of Origin Lab on stock for S-body, so everyone that drifts. Happy
Pieter.
days. More parts for you guys. As you can see, it's only 4 racks apart. So that's, again, my good organizing skills.
Well, we'll see when something's missing from the car.
Yeah, another subframe in powder coat for an S14. While it's there, have a look out. While we're here, we'll pick up the stuff that I need for your engine.
Great, ARP bolts and studs.
Running power valves. Don't need the timing belt yet. Oil pump. Oh, your covers are over there.
Oh yeah, my really nicely, freshly painted covers. Look at this.
Hey, do you want an intake and an exhaust cam, or do you want just 2 intake cams? Because that's double the amount of air that goes into the engine. It'd be a lot faster then, I reckon.
That sounds really interesting.
Yeah.
What if we try that?
So 2 intake cams?
Yep, why not?
Yeah, good. I'll take it. Hey, would we get like sponsorship if we say,
What am I? let's zoom in on that.
HKS.
Yes, this video was sponsored by both HKS and Stomay.
It was sponsored by you.
Damn.
You
Yeah, actually,
paid for everything.
I'm the real sponsor. All these parts you see.
Well, and your mom.
No, mommy not involved. She doesn't like cars.
I need that too.
So if anybody asks, Jill, where are your savings from the last years?
Hello, they're with me.
Ta-da!
They're in these boxes.
So let's take the parts and go continue our build. Look at this collection.
Look, kids, this is why you get a crack cocaine addiction. It's a lot cheaper than this shit. And it gives you a lot less stress.
Yay!
Not even lying.
These
It's
two.
perfect, can't even get a C-clip in.
You'll get there.
I'll probably lose an eye in the process.
At least I will have great content for my video.
Yeah, something like that.
Everybody wants to see that, and then I can make a thumbnail with your eye hanging out.
Well, the thing is, all the other ones went fine, and now that you started filming, it doesn't work.
Yeah, so let's go back then. These two are done already. Went great.
All I own.
And now that we thought like, okay, actually we need to film this again because we were talking and the, let's say, less interesting work to see for you, we didn't film. And now, problems.
Work anymore. If you want to see an angry fat man,
Here's your chance.
yeah, there we go. That's it.
Yep. Success.
So now we put the piston in. There we go. We're done.
Yep. Now with the cylinder head, let's put
Fire
that
it
up.
Let's figure out which way it goes in, because we want the rod on the right way. This way. It's pretty hard to see actually, because the distance between the intake side and the exhaust side is pretty slim. There's not a huge difference, so you need to look at it quite well.
So, and the bigger side is inlet.
Intake, yeah. It'd be nice if they go in. The other ones went in like nothing, and this just keeps on. Your camera's just bad luck. Don't film when we map your engine, because
Yeah, maybe.
it'll probably blow up then.
Actually, that would make great content, but I wouldn't be the happiest man, that's sure.
I'll just give it 4 bar of boost.
Yep.
That should do the trick. That's number 3.
Boom. And so on.
Hey, we're idiots. You can actually see which side is what, because you've got the cutout for the oil squirter.
Yep.
So I've been looking at this to see which side is what. How could I forget?
So Pieter, actually I have a burning question. Where does the name Portello come from?
Oh, I thought it was about your ass when you said burning.
Oof.
Portello was, it's a good question. Portello was a city, or is a city, in Italy where the Alfa Romeo race team was based in the, I reckon, early 20s or something.
Okay.
And Enzo Ferrari used to work for Scuderia Portello, which is like race team Portello or something. Don't know how it translates in English. And he started out there as a mechanic, and then obviously went on to build his own cars and started Ferrari.
Yeah.
And my old man was a massive Alfa Romeo fan, and Ferrari's first race cars were actually just Alfas that he bought from the Alfa Romeo race team. And as he's a big Alfa fan, the origins of Alfa Romeo's racing comes from Alfa Romeo in Portello. So that's where the name comes from.
That's actually a really cool background story.
Well, sadly, we don't do a lot of Alphas anymore. We have a couple of customer cars and for other shops that we tune them on the dyno. But other than that, it's only my old man that still does the Alphas. He's still got a 64 Giulia.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes, very nice. It's the leather box that they call it.
Yeah.
Um,
Really cool car.
and then he bought I reckon a 60 something Spider. I don't know, it's a restoration project that he got from the States.
Mm-hmm.
A really clean shell, but there's still a ton of work that needs to be done on it. But it's basically like when he was young, like you can actually say it's a bit like us when we kind of drive the cars that are same age, because I'm from 87 and I drive all cars from the late 80s and early 90s. And my dad, it was the same. He's from 61 something and all his cars were like 64. So
Yeah.
I reckon it just moved up a couple of generations.
Yeah.
So I think that's quite cool. Like all of us keep driving the cars that we used to have around when we were kids.
Yep. Actually, I recognize myself in that part of the story as well. I always liked 90s cars. I'm a 90s person. I'm from 1990. I always liked, especially for example, the BMW E36. That's like my all-time favorite BMW.
I didn't like it before.
But I love it so much. And it's, yeah, and all the 90s and cars I grew up
Yeah,
with.
because they're just boxy.
Yep. Yep. Like I like the E30 as well, but it's so common and overrated a bit, if you ask me.
Yeah, well, it's not. There's not one on every corner of the street, but I know what you mean. There's so many of them, and it's become a bit boring. So that's why the E36 kind of grew on me as well the last couple of years. Plus, you don't see them that often anymore.
Nope, and definitely clean ones are really hard to find.
We have a customer that has a widened black one, which you might see later on, because it sometimes visits
Is
the
it
shop.
the black sedan that was here a few
Black
weeks?
four-door,
Oh,
indeed.
that's a really nice one.
Yeah, it's a really cool car.
Yeah. So, pistons are done. Looking really good. So, yeah, that will be it for this video. I know we didn't do so much today, but I'm really glad now you could get to know Portello a bit more. So, Pieter, anything you have to say?
No, that you're still bald. And I'm still fat, so
That's the
fat and ugly.
the bold fat combination. Let's hope it works, and I will stay bald forever, but you have definitely a chance to not stay fat forever.
No, that's impossible.
So yeah, for next time we plan on, maybe, not sure if it will be next video, but could be a possibility to maybe take that R33 for a spin that you saw on the dyno. But first Pieter needs to map it.
And get permission from the client.
Obviously, we
He's
need
a very grumpy man. Very, very grumpy man.
But let's see, if he gives a green light, we can go and take it for a spin. And I could really enjoy to see already up front what 500 horsepower will feel like in a GTR. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. And I'm sure that will be a great video and a great experience. Stay tuned.